YTPC, what's up? It is your buddy Tillerman70H coming at you, and as you can tell already, we're going to be doing this episode of smoke showing from inside my basement. It has been a whirlwind, literally, of weather in the Ohio Valley this last month. There's been tornadoes all over the place. There's been flooding rains. There's been winds and storms and everything else, and it's just been busy. That's part of the reason that I've been off the grid for a little bit. I've been busy with my job and trying to help other folks out and that sort of thing. I know a lot of you have heard by now about some of our YTPCers that were affected by the tornadoes. It seems like things are kind of progressing with them, and they're getting back on their feet, so that's good to hear. This is going to be a sort of a short episode, but like I said, I didn't, the other part of the reason was I didn't want to put out content that didn't seem interesting if I were the one that was going to be watching it, so I just didn't want to go out there and start jib-jabbing unless it was something that I thought you guys would find pertinent. This is going to be episode number 24. I've got, like I said, I've been making some progress on that, but I'm not just going to throw things up without having some thought and content ideas and that sort of thing. I do have some other things planned for further down in the summer. I've got some property that I might let you guys come visit virtually and let you see some of the things that I'm doing there. It's not necessarily YTPC related, but it seems like a lot of you folks have similar interests, and it's just kind of interesting to see how people kind of fall in line with other folks and have common threads of things that you like. But part of this video, I wanted to, the YTPC never lets me down, and that's in a good way. People were very generous, and I've also have learned today that even folks that aren't necessarily in the YTPC are also interested in helping others out that are. So that's interesting. The reason I say that, I said that I've been busy doing things with other people, and my job is related to that in the field that I'm in. But it turns out that there's a lady that lives across the street from me that I've befriended. She's a neighbor, and for years I've done little jobs around her house just as neighborly type stuff, shovel the driveway, help get things down. She's a widow and very spry, but getting along in the years, and but it's been very. She's always asking me, well, what can I do? Blah blah blah, and I don't ask for any money. I don't want any money, that sort of thing. And I always tell her, I said, it's not needed. And we just kind of, have our great relationship. She keeps an eye on my place. I keep an eye on her place, and it works out well. She travels all the time, and then she's mentioned to me, she's like, hey, I noticed that I see you kind of in your backyard. Looks like you smoke a pipe, and blah. And she started asking questions, which just seemed like, neighborly, just asking things about it. And she started hinting around at like what types of pipes and this, that, and the other thing, and if I had ever heard of, this, that, and that sort of thing. And she said that she was going out of town and asked if I could, again, kind of keep an eye on the place, to which I was more than happy to do. So she returns and says, hey, can you stop over? I want you to see something. I said, sure, no problem. So she said, hey, thanks very much for keeping an eye on the place and for all the stuff that you do. And I'm like, hey, don't worry about it. It's what neighbors do. And then she proceeded to pull this out. I don't know if you guys can see that. So she happened to go overseas and was in Ireland. And look what bag that I have here. So we're going to do, it's a YABO, but it's yet another bag opening. So she was super nice and went and picked up, like I said, unbeknownst to me, I was just thinking I was, making neighborly conversation, but here she went and did something way above and beyond. Like I said, she's obviously not in the community herself, but just said, hey, look, this is a way that I can help you out for helping me out. So super nice. You ready for it? Should I do the Vanna White thing? Look at that. Little pipe sock. This is my first Peterson pipe. I haven't had one. I've been interested in getting them, but haven't had the opportunity. Look at this bad boy. So it is, it's a 9mm filter, which I told her that I was, that was kind of my preference currently. This is a Peterson, this is a, looks like a Bulldog that is a 999. So it's a 9mm filter. It's got I've got pretty big hands. It's got a pretty deep bowl there, not bad at all. So it's probably a 40-minute smoke. But this is nice. Look at the, I don't know if you guys can see it. It's got some, look at that, some nice flame grain on there. And maybe even ever so slightly a little bit of bird's eye in there. It's probably hard to tell with that light, but I guess you'll have to take my word for it. Very nice. It's got the P-lip on there. Never smoked one of those either, so this will be interesting for me. But yeah, so again, the people's generosity, and especially toward, I guess, an outside YTPCer was, again, just took me by surprise. It was not anything I expected or would have expected from anybody. It's just being neighborly and trying to help those folks out when I can. So again, I'm excited about it. I'll probably do another video as the first smoke on this, but we will we'll go from there. Since it's pouring down rain, it'll probably be like a second smoke, because I'm gonna actually smoke this tonight, but an inside first smoke isn't really all that exciting to me. So we'll try to get it outside and do one that everybody can enjoy. But there it is. Again, thanks to everybody for their patience, and for those of you that haven't bailed on me, I have seen that there must be some of those of you that are fickle out there. If you don't put content up every 15 seconds, then I guess they get bored and leave your channel. But it is what it is. But I'm still here. I'm still kicking. Like I said, the content will come up as it does, and we'll go from there. Until then, this is Tillerman 70H signing out. See you! Enjoy your night.